What is up, YouTube, and welcome back to the Slide Job Podcast. It has been a long time since I have said that. It has been almost a year, but we are finally back with the Slide Job Podcast. But we are going to be doing it a little bit differently. Right now, we are just recording it and posting it. We are looking into maybe a live streaming service where we can, interact with you guys. But YouTube is just not going to be it. My internet's too bad for that. Henry's internet's worse than mine by a slight margin, so that obviously isn't going to help the situation. Also, you might notice Henry is a little bit behind. That's because of his internet connection, but it happens. But yeah, so we're not on any other platform right now. We're just on YouTube. But as soon as this is over, we do plan on looking into getting our podcast out onto other platforms. So we'll let you know, obviously, if that happens. One I am looking forward to is trying to get on Spotify. I just want to put one episode on Spotify, so then I can just say I'm on Spotify. I'm not going to tell my friends, but I can just say I'm on Spotify. That's just a goal of mine. That'd be just cool, because when you think of Spotify, you think of
we all have our goals.
You think of that's the cream of the crop artist, because you don't really see a lot of small artists on Spotify because I don't know. You just don't. So usually, if you want to see a small artist, you go to SoundCloud or something, and it's just kind of cool if I was on Spotify. But that's enough of that. As you can see, I'm joined by my partner in crime, Chinry20. Say hi, Chinry. He said peace. Hi. We had no intentions. Probably 30 minutes ago, we had no intentions of making this. Yet here we are. We were playing Fortnite because we are 12 years old, and yeah, we just started talking about NASCAR. I mean, we were thinking about starting to do this again, but we didn't really know how. And then we just started talking about NASCAR.
We had nothing official,
and we were like, "Hey, let's go ahead and just do it." And here we are. We're recording the video, and we're going to be restarting it. So. Crazy things happen during quarantine. We're bored as hell. I'm surprised it took us this long. We've been under quarantine for nearly 2 months now.
Over 2 months.
It's been over 2 months.
Going on 3.
And
going on 3.
Yeah, we'll be 3 in June. So, right? Yeah, 3 in June.
Yeah.
And it took us 2 months to get bored to the point where we are making a podcast. During the summer, it took us what? Was it before the summer? I believe we actually started making them. So,
and then we just ended after 3 weeks.
Then we ended because Google Duos ended, and we didn't. Or it's not Google. It wasn't. It was Google Party or whatever.
That has to be available at the same time. Yeah. Every single.
Which, well, that wasn't necessarily the problem. I personally think it was that because we didn't have another way, because obviously my internet's too junk to actually live stream on YouTube. But for some reason, when we used I think it was Google Groups or
Google Hangouts.
Google Hangouts.
Hangouts.
Yeah. When we used that, my internet was able to work. But if I were to be live streaming this right now, it'd be laggy as hell, not working at all. So I can't even live stream. I tried live streaming just a picture. Nah, it doesn't work. You have to record. I remember back in 2016, I think. Nobody knows. He's a friend from my school. His name's Chris. We did a not NASCAR, NBA podcast, and we would record it. It was a picture of Kobe Bryant, rest in peace. My voice is going weird. Yeah, we would put a picture on there, and we just talk about basketball. We did 4 episodes because we were 12, so we had the attention span of. But so it's kind of the same concept, but we're just a lot older. But enough talking about that. Let me know if you guys know of any. Podcast. What we would like to have is a way we could broadcast, maybe not showing our faces because that seems to make the podcast go slow, or the stream itself go slow. But we just want to interact with you guys in a way that is watchable to you guys. So if you guys know of a platform that we can do that, please let us know down below in the comments. And if you have anything you guys want to discuss, also comment that down below. But Chenry, we got a pretty full slate here today. First of all, what was the first thing we want to talk about? Darlington, I'm assuming.
Yeah, we can talk about that.
All right, so Darlington happened. Today is Tuesday, so it happened 2 days ago, and we got the ratings in and all of that, and I was very
They're pretty good.
I was very happy with those ratings.
I was very happy too after I read them right.
Yeah, Chinnery like texted me
Because
like,
you know,
Chinnery's like, I'm
like
disappointed with these
dyslexic,
ratings. I'm
but
like, excuse me, like, what did you wanted us to get like 20 million views or something like that?
okay, so me being dyslexic, I read 3.6 and not 6.3.
It's okay. It happens to the best of us. Oh, also, I forgot to mention our co-host here, Barbara Palvin. I don't think I've ever talked about her in a video. I just happened to see her.
Can we show that this kid's watching?
I'm just kidding. Shit, something just fell on my foot. Oh, sorry.
I thought you said co-host Barb, like your mom walked in.
Yeah, that's weird. I have a poster, same name as my mom. Anyways, we're getting off topic.
I have a picture of your we're not going to get there. This kid's watching.
Yeah, so the Darlington race, I've already done my recap, so I don't know if there's really much to be said. Actually, it didn't get a lot of views. So
there's no need to watch it. His videos are the worst. Don't watch them. That was a joke.
Beast just went live on Apex, so Beast, if you're watching, shout out to your Mixer account. But yeah, my videos are honestly the worst. I just put
don't watch them. There's no need to watch them.
I wouldn't watch them either.
I don't even watch them. I'm on the channel.
Yeah, Jenny's on the channel. No, you watch them. You just wait 2 weeks to actually watch them. Is the problem?
I just get bored and I used to binge them on. I used to binge them on the bus. All right. Like one day randomly on the bus, I'm like, I'm gonna binge his videos. And then,
now you have to do it on the imaginary.
I mean, I could go to his house and just sit on it.
Okay, so Darlington, Jimmy Johnson, he showed speed, and then didn't show speed, or because he, died. No, I can't say that.
I was going crazy, like Jimmy's gonna win this stage. He's gonna win. Yeah, I was like disappointed.
And that's like not a common thing. He's only got 3 stage wins since stages were a thing.
Yeah, I mean that's more than Dale Jr.
Well,
he has 1 Xfinity stage win.
Good job, Dale. But then William Byron blew a tire, and that's the biggest problem I think with Hendrick Motorsports is they always no, they don't. Okay. They didn't have fast cars, but when they did have fast cars, there always seemed to be an issue with them in the past couple of years.
Yeah.
Now it seems like it's to the point all 4 of the cars are fast, but 2 of them wreck out in every race.
Yeah, I will say this though, with the blown tire, that's a typical thing for Darlington, just a random blown tire.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, how many blown tires did we see? I do want to point out.
Well, you just get in the wall a little bit, and it cuts it down.
The Ryan Newman wreck was very suspicious to me.
Oh yeah, he spun that out on purpose, but he's not dumb enough to admit it like Bubba.
Yeah, because okay, at least
Bubba was an idiot and admitted it.
Because I
Dale
noticed
did the same thing, admitted it, and got fined.
I was like, "That's what happened?" Like he did that on purpose. Like I'm not complaining. I didn't really care, but it's like.
But he did it on purpose.
So am I not? So I'm not the only one that thinks that. That's good because I thought I was the only one.
I'm also kind of worried. I think Byron hit the wall and they didn't call a caution. I was wondering if maybe he spun it out on purpose after he didn't get the caution called.
And with him, his tire was obviously pretty badly blown.
I was kind of 50-50 on it.
Ryan Newman's is pretty obvious. Or Byron, you can I don't know why I said Blaney. Byron, you can definitely make a case for it, but I'm not 100% on that.
Well, Newman, I think a tire went down, and then he didn't want to lose track time, so he just spun it.
That's understandable. And he ended up coming back to get in the top 15, so it worked out for him. But
talk about Matt Kenseth, though.
Yeah, I just want to talk about him. That's maybe. Well, actually, I was talking about Blaney, which we'll talk about him later. But Matt Kenseth, I think he's a playoff contender. I don't see any reason why he's not a playoff contender.
I think he might win. There's a good chance he wins, but if he doesn't, I still think there's time to point win.
Yeah, I think there's plenty of time. I mean, he's already damn near past Christopher Bell in points, and a lot of people were saying he was a playoff contender this year.
Yeah, I think he will be, unless something massively changes. You never know, but I don't see that.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll necessarily get in, but he's at least going to contend for it, obviously. But I mean,
lucky. But
think about this: if you, and I said this in my recap. If you were to, or recap or review, I don't remember when I said it, or preview. Get you there, Chinner? Okay. So I said at some point that think if you were to have a hobby, maybe basketball. Of course, I say that because basketball is my favorite sport. And but if you just anything, if you your job maybe even I don't know, but anything that you do and if you become really good at it, but then you don't do it for a year and a half, there's no way in hell that you're going to be good as nearly as good as you were when you left it. But to add on to that, you have the fact that it's a different package, which maybe the package is more favorable to Matt Kenseth's driving style. I couldn't tell you. I don't analyze his driving style, but all in all, a 10th place finish after, I mean, obviously he's raced a car.
He made a comment where it was easier to drive.
Well, I think pretty much everybody thinks that way. But yeah, I mean, if he just consistently gets top 10s, I don't see any reason why he can't make it into the playoffs. And
no, I don't either see why he can't.
Really the same with Ryan Newman. I mean, if he can just be a little more consistent. He was kind of throughout the field, and so was Matt Kenseth too. I mean, there was times he was in the top 10, times he'd fall out of the top 10, and then just ended up in the top 10. But
yeah, I
mean, as for those two drivers who obviously didn't get to run the full season, unfortunately for Ryan Newman and Matt Kenseth, I guess
yeah.
I don't know.
I really don't think it's that big of a deal for Ryan Newman as people made out to be because everyone sat out for so long. I figured what's another extra week, 3 weeks at that point.
Yeah, I mean. Yeah, he only missed 3 races too. He finished the top 10 in the race that he...
I mean, I guess in a way he has no memory of Daytona, so maybe it's like missing the whole season. But still, it wasn't like a whole year and a half like Matt Kenseth.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think... Well, a lot of people were worried about like his brain damage or whatever was wrong with that, which is definitely reasonable, but he seems to... I mean, it seemed like a typical Ryan Newman day, except instead of kind of just staying consistently in the top 15, he did kind of fall back a little bit, but then kind of came back and obviously finished in the top 15. But yeah, I mean, I don't see any reason why these two should have any problem being just inside the playoffs. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to be by a long shot, but I mean, if they just do what they usually do, I don't see any chances of, or I'd see a pretty big chance of Matt Kenseth getting a win.
Kenseth's got the higher chance than Newman.
Yeah, obviously. But yeah, definitely don't rule out a Matt Kenseth win. But I did mention Christopher Bell a little bit earlier, and I do want to talk about him. I know, Chenry, you think that it's, and I agree with you on this, that it hasn't necessarily been his fault, but Darlington was definitely his fault. But in my opinion, I'm not too surprised, and I want to quote Eric Estep on this, or use what he said on this. Eric said in his recap that, Christopher Bell is used to the dirt racing, loose handling cars, and Xfinity I'm sure is not necessarily loose, but it's honestly because of this high downforce package. I would say it's probably looser than these Cup cars are. So could that actually be playing a factor in this? But at the same time, you got to look into the fact that at Las Vegas and ISM and Auto Club, all of those were mechanical failures, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, in Daytona's Daytona. You can't judge anybody at Daytona.
Right. But the only thing I'm confused about is why wasn't Matt DiBenedetto having these problems? I mean, he had these problems, but not quite on the scale of 3 races in a row that Christopher Bell has had them. So that's all I'm saying. Is the weird thing is that this didn't really happen. You would think it'd be more happening with Matt DiBenedetto because they made the transition from Chevy to Toyota, but it didn't. Again, Matt DiBenedetto, he drives the wheels off his cars, but he also knows how to preserve them. So maybe that's the case. Maybe
did they keep the same crew chief?
No, because he has Jason Radcliffe.
They did bring in a new crew chief, so I don't know if that's anything to do with it.
But yeah, I mean,
so they brought. I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
I couldn't tell you. I'm not an expert.
I don't know honestly if it is.
But yeah, I mean. Yeah, Christopher Bell. I mean, it's 5 races into the year. You can turn it around. Chase Elliott. He had a stretch like this where he was having a lot of mechanical issues, and
Dale Jr. had in his rookie year.
Everybody and their cousin's brother has issues like that. Everybody in the sport does. So.
Well, they just get through a bad streak where it just continuously happens out of their control.
Yeah, the only problem is when it happens at the beginning of a rookie career. That's when you begin to that's when you get that narrative that you're not, that's consistent, and one thing about NASCAR fans I do notice is that a lot of them blame the mechanical failures on the driver. Like with Alex Bowman, I remember last year he'd have mechanical failure, and you would say like, "Oh, people are saying it's Alex Bowman's fault." But there is cases. I do think Chase Elliott. There's been a couple cases where he's pushed the car to the point where it's caused a mechanical failure, and you see that with drivers. I think Kyle Busch has done that a couple of times.
Well, it also could be the driver didn't report the issue soon enough to fix it.
Well, yeah, that too, but I think both cases happen. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, a side note, the only reason I know about Dale Jr.'s rookie year is because I read a book I can read, surprisingly. I know. I didn't know I could read either. Anyway, basically he was known for either like being awesome his rookie year or having a mechanical failure.
I mean, that could be Christopher Bell if he can actually... But Darlington was his fault, and he was sitting in the top 15 at that point.
But again, that's a rookie at the toughest track.
Exactly. But speaking of rookies at the toughest track, thanks for the segue, my man John Hunter Nemechek and Tyler Reddick. I mean, let's be honest. Going into the season, I think most people expected those two to be the two worst rookies, and these two are the best two rookies, and I can't be any more happier.
And Cole Custer's been average as possible.
Oh yeah, I mean Cole Custer, he's basically Daniel Suarez. Actually, Daniel Suarez has been better than Cole Custer, I would say at this point. He had a good race at ISM, I know Cole Custer did, but at least Suarez was getting a little better results, I'd say.
Of course, Suarez already had experience going into the 41.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I don't think there's really any reason to worry
Cole Custer's
about
it took him forever to win, get good at Xfinity, so maybe it's just like
yeah,
he takes
that's
a
what
while
I've
to
been saying.
adjust,
Every time somebody brings up Custer, I'd say, well, he took him like 3 years to become a championship contender in the Xfinity series, so I don't see why. Well, I don't know about championship contender in the Cup, but it might take a little longer.
To be, yeah.
But I want to talk about John Hunter Nemechek because I just love talking about this guy, and Tyler Reddick, of course.
This is what you added, I guess, segue.
Snuck a 11th place out there, so it's kind of harder to kind of compare them. But let's be honest, how did Austin Dillon get a top 11 though? Do you have an idea about that? Because I didn't.
Maybe RCR just had a good setup that day. I don't know.
That's something I'm kind of worried about. Because if that's the case, then maybe Tyler Reddick won't be good. But at least he's doing good now. But
here's also the thing. At this point, we can add in the clip from your last video. What were we talking about? John Hunter Nemechek, or tweet or something, screenshot.
Oh yeah, well the John Hunter Nemechek video, but I won't add that.
Yeah, I just had a clip in from it.
But oh yeah, I can just plug that. If you guys have not seen that, I did make a video on John Hunter Nemechek long before this John Hunter Nemechek hype started.
You can look at the date.
Which, if you look at Twitter, the hype is building up. I saw Real Radman said something about him. Eric Easton said something about him, and he's deserving all the hype. He's in damn front row motorsports equipment, outperforming top tier.
Do you want to know my
When is the last time you saw? Hold on. When is the last time you saw front row get a top 20? I haven't seen it.
That's not a non-super speedway.
At a non-super speedway, and John Hunter Nemechek
non-super speedway top 10 since 2017 or 18.
10. Yeah, it was the first non-super speedway top 10 since 2017, and that was like probably one fluke of a race.
Actually, 15th to 20th is like their average. I'd say 15th to 30th would be their average.
But the 20 to 15 range is like when they're having like a god tier day.
Yes.
And I was expecting actually the opposite from John Hunter Nemechek because I was expecting front row to have worse equipment because I figured they were running out of money, but obviously that wasn't the case. I'm just
taking a look here. The best finish. I mean, I'm just looking. Let's see. What number does Nemechek drive?
38.
Which one is he?
38.
Is he the 38?
Yeah.
I'm trying to find that.
Well, let me know when you have it. I'll go ahead and elaborate on my... you got
Wait, no, never mind.
Oh. So, John Hunter Nemechek, I was going to say this. I was on the hype train long before everybody else was. The kid's talented. You can't tell me. He has been in low-tier equipment. Not low-tier. He's been in mid-tier equipment up until now, and he's just like the equipment right above.
Ever-living crap out that.
I mean, yeah,
Nemco.
Yeah, Nemco. There's only 2 other top 10s since he left. Nemco, and one of them was himself. So definitely, I feel like they got some sort of alliance that allowed him to be better equipment, but
they're a mid-pack truck team, and he was winning races.
And
he probably been a champion
if he was on, GMS.
GMS was a mid-pack. I honestly think
GMS. Yeah, I mean, what they get JRM's second hand, or yeah, they're sloppy seconds. So, yeah, I mean, he's been in mid-tier equipment all his career, and I think that that made people kind of get this underrated. Kind of like Ross Chastain, I guess, but now Ross Chastain's so overrated.
Ross Chastain's almost, he's not. Yeah. He's kind of overrated, but to be honest,
okay. If he got on a top-tier team, he would perform well. Don't get me wrong.
Yes.
He would get everything out of that car. One thing I am worried about is, like I said earlier, how drivers will use their car, push it way too far to the point where it breaks. I do kind of see his aggressive style kind of doing that. But
I think he's too aggressive in a way. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I think he's a little too.
I don't think it's like Ricky Stenhouse aggressive. I think it's kind of Kyle Busch, raw talent wise. Like Ricky Stenhouse, he was just aggressive, but Kyle Busch, he's aggressive and he gets results. I think Ross Chastain maybe is not all the way to Kyle Busch, but he's more on the Kyle Busch side of the spectrum when it comes to talent. I think Stenhouse is actually talented. Yeah. He just doesn't know how to not stick his nose in everything, like we saw at Darlington on the first lap. So. But yeah, finishing my point on John Nemechek, this kid's talented, and looking at the candidates for the 48, I would not count him out if he continues to perform well in front row equipment. I don't think it's a dark horse. It's a darker horse than Eric Jones for the ride, don't get me wrong, but if Ross Chastain's not going there, if anybody thinks Ross Chastain's going there, they're fooling themselves. Brad Keselowski is like 99% going there. Or 90%, I guess, will be a little modest. But in the crazy chance that he doesn't go there, who's left? Eric Jones. It looks like he's going to stay over at JGR, I would say, assuming he's able to perform like he did at Darlington, which he had pretty bad before that. Like I said, Ross, there's no way he's going out. They're leaving Chip Ganassi. Who else is really the candidates there? Noah Gragson, they'd be honestly stupid if they put Noah Gragson in that ride unless he just wins every single race this year in Xfinity. Just the only way that happens
is if everything other stuff falls through.
Yeah, I mean he's the.
I don't see I don't think Allgaier wants a Cup ride. Quite honestly.
True, but I would honestly pick Allgaier over Gragson because at least he's experienced.
Same. I just don't think Allgaier wants it because even if he's off with the 48, he's got to know it's only going to be temporary and doesn't really want to risk losing a good than not being out entirely.
Well. He could just come back.
Yeah. I don't know if he'd want to go back, though.
Okay.
Because would Junior Motorsports want him back? Because that's kind of like going back to Hendrick after they said, you're not good enough for this car.
Fair enough. But, yeah. I mean, if you look at all those candidates...
I mean, it's Keselowski.
It's Keselowski, but in the crazy chance predicted by a Jeff Gordon fan that there's 0% chance that he's going there. If that actually holds true in some crazy way, I don't see any other candidate but John Hunter Nemechek. So, because like I said, there's unless Eric Jones gets kicked out of his ride, I think that's the only other really thing that can happen. But who knows? We'll just have to wait and see. There's no real telling there. I'm not going to. Again, John Nemechek, I probably might be hyping him up too much for that. But
now he's going to do something really stupid.
Yeah. Now that everybody's hyping him up, and I'm sucking his cock, then now he's going to.
There was that moment in iRacing where Rick Denny Hamlin then quickly backed out.
But it's iRacing.
I don't care about it.
Nobody cares about iRacing. No, iRacing. All right. So did you find whatever stat you were trying to look up?
I couldn't find the results. I was trying to look up the entire results of front rows history.
Well, history. Yeah. Well, they won a race, so I know it's definitely not their best finish ever.
They've won. Yeah, once. I was trying to think how that car was run.
Dave Reagan won. Their only one. Yeah. All right. So off the topic of rookies, I do want to mention Tyler Reddick briefly though. Reddick, Chenry said this earlier, and as for Reddick, I think the equipment's always been there for RCR. It's just Dylan's ass, and I don't think it's maybe a consistent 10th place equipment, but just because Tyler Reddick's that good of a driver, he can make it a 10th place consistently equipment. So that's really good. And Reddick's also a candidate. I didn't mention him. He's a candidate. He's the one I was trying to think of for the 48. But I don't know. It just depends upon how his relationship is with RCR. If it's like he loves them and all of that, then I guess so. But if I'm in his position, I would honestly. I know, and he might be pissed off because Junior Motorsports kicked him out. But
I mean,
at the end of the day,
I don't know if they kicked him out. I don't know if they would kicked him out. The more I think about it, or did he leave because they signed Gregson?
I feel like that is the case, and a lot of people
because Gregson technically replaced
as...
Elliott Sadler. I'm pretty sure that's actually what happened because I think when they signed Gregson, because Gregson was originally supposed to drive the 1.
Yeah,
and then they switched him to
right,
9.
because that is right. So yeah, everybody see that's what happens. People get these like perceptions of stuff, but Reddick didn't actually get kicked out.
I think that brought him to leave though because he knew that Gregson was that's Rick Hendricks.
But think about it. If he would have stayed,
yeah,
he could be.
Who knows? Maybe not.
I mean, he still could be, but I don't know. We just have to wait and see. We got to stop talking about this 48 stuff. We got other stuff to talk about. Obviously, Kevin Harvick won the race. We might want to talk about that. Yeah, Chenry's not a Kevin Harvick fan after what he said about Dale Jr., but I'll actually
say this. I hated Harvick before that. But that, any chance
Harvick
of,
before that, but I don't hate him anymore. I don't know why. I just don't hate him, and I'm actually, semi starting to like him. I don't know why. It's just happening. The same thing happened with Tony Stewart. Well, I don't know why I like Tony Stewart now, but I used to hate Tony Stewart for no reason.
It's kind of one thing with Kevin Harvick. It's I hated him before that, but then after he made those comments of took away any chance of me for
I mean
starting to like him went out the window.
Chase Elliott, I'd probably be pretty pissed too, but I mean he seems like he's a pretty cool dude. But as for he's been the most consistent car all season, so you gotta ask the question: Is this going to ignite an even stronger run? Is he ever going to slow down? I don't know.
I mean. He was on. I mean, I could have told you he was a championship contender before.
Well, yeah. He's always been the second best driver in this.
Maybe
right
I don't
now,
know. I don't know. I don't know if he's talent-wise if he's better than Truex or the same as Truex. I think they're about the same level.
I think once you get to a certain point, you can't really compare talent. I think they're all equally talented. It's just.
I mean, obviously Kyle Busch is the greatest.
Yeah, most talented right now,
raw
talent-wise. But Kevin Harvick. In my opinion, is my honestly championship favorite right now. Joey Logano's there, Alex Bowman's there, and I'm not sure who my fourth person is. Because really, the two most consistent cars this year have been Kevin Harvick and Alex Bowman, and Joey Logano just has 2 wins to his name. Blaney until Darlington, and if Blaney had a good Darlington, he probably would have been my fourth.
But if you think about it, Bowman also had a really bad ISM.
You see, I didn't watch ISM, so I didn't even notice that. So
yeah, he had a really bad ISM.
Okay, so maybe not. But Kevin Harvick has been the class of the field at the moment, even though he has just one win.
Yeah.
He's been easily the most consistent.
Yeah.
And then it's been Logano, Bowman, and Blaney. And then Chase Elliott, he's right there as well. But just it seems like every time
even Jimmy's had consistent speed.
Yeah, he's had consistent speed. I guess his record. Darlington kind of made me kind of forget about that, but yeah, he had a top 5 day at Auto Club in Vegas. It seems like.
And Byron's had good speed.
So right now, my final four, I don't know if I can really complete it because I feel like Bowman's going to choke, Blaney's going to choke, Chase is going to choke, but I'd say Kevin Harvick and Kyle Busch are the locks because that's like having to pay taxes and I don't know what are other consistencies. I don't know, but. Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick being the two best at this sport is just the usual. I'm not going to lie, I am enjoying Kyle Busch's little regression here. Obviously, he's going to go back to regular Kyle Busch at some point, but
oh yeah, he always kind of starts out kind of slow though. It seems like for some reason.
Last year he started out with 10 top 10s in a row or 13 top 10s. I forget.
I know. Okay, exception for last year, just seems like.
I don't really remember, but I don't know, but you can't tell me it's not been different than other years. Because it's not just him, it's his...
Oh, it's definitely been different.
Because...
Yeah.
He had... Because, like, if you look at Darlington, for example, he came to the front, had an issue, came back to the front, and then I don't remember what happened. Did he actually, like, wreck again or something?
Loose wheel.
Oh, okay, because I didn't see that. That's the problem. I didn't see that for some reason. I don't know if I was just, like, on my phone or something, but I just never saw that. So never mind. I was just kidding. But still. Usually we're used to seeing him fly through the field, which Darlington is a harder to pass track, but
And he failed inspection.
I know that. I'm just enjoying it. I'm not going to complain.
I mean, Truex started down the third base, and then they had some problem. There's like a hole in the nose or something. They patched it up, and he drove straight at third.
As long as JGR wants to suck or be average, I won't complain any second. Sorry. And as long as Hendrick wants to be good, I won't complain. You know, Chinry, as a fellow Hendrick fan, that there is going to be a point where they start looking ass. It just
probably.
It's just.
I don't know. I feel confident that I feel like the new nose might have been the thing.
Yeah, I like how just chopping off their nose just made him aerodynamic, or not aerodynamic, just made him faster.
But
somehow.
Also, look at Bowman was the best driver on the mile and a half, so it had like the second best average finish on the mile and a halves.
Yeah, and that's kind of.
That stayed consistent into this year.
Yeah, easily. So glad to see that.
And remember we had that argument of you like, no, he's terrible on the mile and a halves. And then, like, no.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, we had that argument.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I just don't know what you're talking about.
You're pretending like you don't.
Yes. But looking at the race, Brad Keselowski, we talked about him a little briefly about the 48 job, but his growing, I would say, frustration, obviously we can't put words in his mouth, but with Penske, I would say is probably, I mean, he had a fast car, but as soon as he got in the traffic, he was a mid-tier car, so what I'm thinking is, I mean, obviously they give him the short stick, and I think this is going to be something where you're going to have to get used to seeing out of Brad Keselowski this year, because did they switch teams, right? He's running the 12 car, right?
Just crew chiefs.
Just crew chiefs, okay.
Typically, well, I don't know. Typically, it's kind of weird. It depends on the team.
But with Jeremy Bolins, the consistent thing with Ryan Blaney was, I don't know, for whatever reason, it'd always be fast, but something would do him in and, ruin their, chances at a win. And that seemed to be the running theme there. And while that still has been a theme here, he's looked a lot faster with Todd Gordon. I really like that pairing because you saw how Todd Gordon developed Joey Logano.
Yeah, still drives like an idiot, but Logano is terrible at Gibbs.
Yeah. So what I'm worried about is with this Jeremy Bolins, Brad Keselowski pairing, and what I'm not already worried about, what I think is going to happen is just the same stuff that happened with Ryan Blaney. He's going to look fast and then just kind of disappear and just kind of fade into obscurity and then get wins off of very close finishes or bullshit wins like the Roval. So, but that was a great finish. Wasn't the same crew chief at Wood Brothers Racing, I think, but it was a great finish.
Well, he won. The Roval was
yeah.
The Roval was
I know what happened.
Penske.
Yeah. No, I was saying the Pocono one with the Wood Brothers.
I mean, the other one was at Talladega too. So, no offense. I'm not discrediting it. No, I'm just saying that the other was. Has he had a real win with Penske yet? I mean, I'm not saying they weren't real wins.
But like, he was
what I mean.
Clearly the dominating car.
He was the best car.
Yeah. I don't think he's was really yet, except for Wood Brothers, which is ironic. And a lot of people seem to think Wood Brothers Racing is bad equipment. I think you might be one of them, but everybody forgets.
No, I think they're good equipment.
Okay, I just remember I was in a party with a group of people, and Beast was one of those. Hey, Beast, if you're watching, and I told him like that he was saying Wood Brothers equipment's ass, and I told him, that team made the round of 8, and he's like, no, you're kidding me, that's not true. Like they didn't believe me.
I will give him this. I feel like when Blaney was in it, they were probably feeding him. Penske was probably feeding more money.
There's no way of really telling, but I mean,
I'm just gonna guess
they're aligned with Penske right now.
Yeah, but I just feel like when Blaney was there, they were probably.
Well, I don't know. That's neither here nor there, but
But I also believe this. Paul Menard is not a bad driver. How he does not make equipment better. He runs it as it is.
Yeah, like if he were to drive in Joe Gibbs' equipment, he'd be good, but he wouldn't be Kyle Busch good. He just would.
You know what I mean? Like he's not going to drive it.
He's not going
if
to
he
drive
has a
the wheels
15th place
off
car,
of
he's
it.
going to finish 15th.
Yeah, exactly. If he has a 20th place car, he finishes 20th. I don't know about 10th place car, he might not finish 10th, but yeah.
But you know what I mean? He's not going to finish. He's not going to turn the top 10 car into a top 5.
Yeah, he's not going to get anything better, which I think both Ryan Blaney and Matthew Bonetto are drivers who will get better results in the car.
I mean,
given.
Maybe you just have like that one racetrack where he's good. I can't think. I feel like he's good in Michigan for some reason or something.
I don't know. But
I don't know.
yeah, Blaney, a rough start to the season. So it's interesting to see. What I find interesting about it is how Blaney got the contract extension, but Brad Keselowski. I think that to me is what's kind of telling me that I don't think they really want Brad Keselowski.
Well,
So
if you essentially look, Brad's a little past the middle of his career, so he needs to make decisions because he probably wants to win more championships.
well, I'd hope anybody would want to win more championships.
But you know what I mean? Like but he doesn't want to. Penske, being a veteran, he's only going to be able to get not long-term deals, but he's not going to get a one-year deal with Penske anymore.
All right.
I feel wherever he signs, and does he want to commit?
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I'll just have to wait and see on that. Anything else from the Darlington race you want to talk about? Where did Chase come from? He just kind of appeared.
I don't know. He was in the top 5 top 10 the whole race.
The whole race, but then all of a sudden he appeared in like 3rd or 4th, and just kind of stuck. Same with Kurt Busch. I know Kurt Busch came out of nowhere because I remember watching it and thinking, where the hell did he come from? And
well, the thing was, if you were on the outside on a restart, you would get in a bunch of position because the bottom sucks. I don't know, maybe that last week, so they just had
true, but I remember it was like at the beginning of stage 2, and he just kind of appeared 2nd place. I'm like, where did he come from?
I don't know about Kurt Busch, but Chase Elliott, if you know some Hendrick, well, at least Bowman's, because I don't know about the other ones, I haven't paid much attention. When the sun starts to go down, the Hendrick cars start to get more speed.
That's true, and guess what? Well,
Bowman at least.
What's supposed to be tomorrow night's race, which probably won't happen. Yeah. It's supposed to be a night race.
Well, the Xfinity's will be race. So it'll remain a night race now.
Yeah, it's
no matter what.
It's for sure going to be a night race. Well, just think about this.
Because
maybe the night race just gives Alex Bowman the extra speed he needs to beat Kevin Harvick.
Well, if you go, Chicagoland was on the rain door.
Yeah.
And Bowman didn't show up till the 3rd stage. Las Vegas, it was getting cloud. It was getting kind of dark at the end of that race. Not super dark yet, but the sun was starting to go down. He was charging through the field. Bowman, it was cloudy.
Oh, I thought you were talking about last
the Fontana
year.
race.
Like he didn't win Las Vegas.
I love. No, but this year, if he knows. Oh yeah, but Vegas last year.
At Auto Club, he just had a dominant race. He was fast at Auto Club.
But it being cloudy probably helped.
It probably helped, but I think cloudy or not, I think he would have been the fastest car in that race.
I can't wait for Michigan.
Yeah, I bet you can. Wait, isn't Michigan not getting a race? Or no, that's Pocono.
No, it is. That's Pocono.
Well, I don't know. I know Michigan's governor, and if
they got approved.
They did. I know. Michigan's
yeah, according to Steve O'Donnell,
like the Today Show, like 16,000 times. She's like.
Yeah, I don't know. According to Steve O'Donnell, every track's been approved except Pocono.
I thought Chicago and Sonoma and.
Well, of the ones that haven't already been canceled.
Oh, I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure I know the fact they said no.
But of the ones that are remaining, Pocono's the only one that has not. But that's also in August, so you could. Oh no, it's in like June, but it could be pushed back. Who knows? Maybe.
Remember when Stuart Haas?
I've heard a rumor that. What'd you say?
Remember when Stuart Haas was good? Like they're still good, but remember when they're like, people were saying like as good or better than. I guess it's just the package. I don't know. This is off the head if you can't tell.
Cook Busch left.
I think that's bigger than people seem to think, because obviously Suarez isn't going to give you the Eric Almirola. I think a lot of people hate on him because of his results, but I don't think his results are that bad.
I kind of think he might be a little bit like Paul Menard.
But a better Paul Menard, definitely a better Paul.
Slightly better.
Yeah, I'd say he gets better finishes. But back at Smithfield, I feel like he got better finishes in his equipment.
I will say he's an above-average point racer.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And then of course Clint. We gotta talk about Clint. Lord, please let Clint go. I mean, it's a match made in heaven. Fox Sports
Okay,
and Clint.
here's my opinion on Clint.
It's like how
He's
Dale
not good
Jr.
enough
went to
to keep his
NBC.
ride. Well, he's good enough to keep his ride.
He's not good enough, and he's not good enough to, or bad enough for him to lose.
Cut for no reason.
Yeah.
For no reason. I mean, if somebody was coming up in the Xfinity Series, all right and ready,
right,
then yeah. But he's not. Just he's bad. We got to get here.
Mm-hmm.
He's not terrible.
Yeah. Well, I think that's it for Darlington, at least. Right? You got anything you want to talk about Darlington?
No.
So let's kind of preview the race, I guess. Like you said, it's at night. Hopefully tomorrow night, but
it's probably gonna be like Thursday.
It's looking like Thursday night or Friday night, which is okay.
I do believe the way it looks. That I don't know about it'll be on time Thursday, but definitely if it's not tomorrow, Thursday at some, they would be able to find
right
a window at some time.
Well, and as for that race, like you said, it's at night. That seems to play into the cards of Hendrick, so I do expect Bowman to be fast. I do find it interesting how it's the race ran on Sunday is basically a practice, like if you think about it, because they're going home, they are analyzing, and instead of having just overnight to analyze it, or a night or two,
yeah,
they have a long time to analyze all of the stuff that they are doing. And
well, probably a day though, because they probably load the truck Tuesday, so they probably load the truck today.
That's true, but at the same time, Darlington's only a hop and a skip away from their headquarters. So when the race gets canceled tomorrow, they're going to go home and analyze it even more.
No, because they gotta keep the cars at the track. They'll be impounded.
Oh shit, I forgot about that. That's true. I'm sorry. I'm stupid. Now I'm going to get made fun of for that. But still, the point of it is, they're so they're impounded during the practice on a regular schedule. In this case, you get your practice. You get more than enough practice. You get a whole 300.
The only problem is with that, when you have practice, you can go and make a run to make sure that run works. You make like one wrong adjustment.
Well, you had 393 laps, and you could probably got closer to
figuring out to fix that one issue. Also, can we talk about how stupid the starting lineup situation is?
Oh yes, I did try to make a note of that. Why the hell is Ty Dillon and Ryan Preece on the front row for Darlington?
It's just the stupidest situation.
I get the idea of it. No, I don't. I don't get the idea of it. I can try, but I can't. If you wanted, do the system that you had. If you just didn't want it to be the finishing order of the last race, do it based on the finishing order of the last race. Do your drawing based on that. Like however they did it for the first Darlington race.
Yeah.
Whatever it was.
Pit selection still by owners points done.
Right. So yeah, that makes no sense. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a lot of fun, but it makes no sense. Speaking of Ryan Preece, he actually was in the top 10 for a little bit. I just remember that. Just thought I'd point that out. But yeah,
I mean, they're going to get hammered by lap 5.
But
10th.
For Jimmy Johnson fans, he's at the front, isn't he?
Who?
Jimmy Johnson?
No, he still starts in the back.
That's what I thought.
Somehow. I don't get how it works.
Eric, you said
I don't understand how it works.
It's possible.
He's been live for like 20 minutes. Let me take a look at the starting line.
Oh.
Don't pull up.
So, there's that. Anything else you want to talk about, Chin Chin?
Okay, so Joey Logano starts third, so you know for a fact that him or Clint Boyer in the road 2 will fly past those two in the front.
So Joey Logano's probably going to win the first stage.
Probably. It'll probably take the faster cars like Bowman, Harvick, chase Kurt Busch, who were faster in that race. It'll probably take him about 20 laps to even get near the front.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think Jimmy Johnson's going to.
But luckily, there is a competition caution.
Yeah, I think Jimmy Johnson's probably going to get up there too. Byron. I mean, they both have fast cars. Just got to not, blow it. Well, Byron maybe not because both their cars are destroyed. We'll have to just wait and see. We'll wait and see.
Most drivers are bringing back new. Everybody, from what I understand, most drivers are bringing back new cars.
Oh, well, why would you do that? If you're Bowman
because,
or Harvick, I wouldn't.
Harvick is, but Bowman said it's too hard to reset everything, like that they messed up, and since pre-race tech is hard to get through with the race already raced. And they said they're worried about like stuff getting over.
Did you see them like save cars like from Kansas to Chicagoland and stuff though? But in the short amount of time.
Yeah, but they have time to like. Okay. But they have enough time to like replace the parts.
Okay. Well, I mean.
Because then he gets worried about stuff getting overworked on the car and braking.
That's true. That's true. Okay. You got me. All right. Excuse me. I have coronavirus. Just kidding. That's a joke. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to pick a winner for any race because there's really nothing to go off of except for past races. So I guess if we're going off past winners, my pick's Kevin Harvick. If we're going off the most recent.
I'm going to be biased. Go with Bowman.
Of course.
It'll be Hendrick.
I mean, I want Bowman to win, and I think he can win, but we just have to wait and see. So
I mean, who knows? He could both retire.
Dark horse pick, John Nemechek. I suck his dick too much. I gotta watch it. We gotta keep it PG. All right. So, is there anything else you want to talk about, Chenry? I mean, we're plenty of time, so go ahead if you want to.
I got nothing else.
All right, we're going to try and save some stuff. What our plan is, it's not necessarily going to be a podcast. I guess. Oh, it's still a podcast. Well, podcasts are usually live, but we're
podcast. What? Live.
So, anyways, what we're planning on doing some different stuff with it, though. We're not going to just necessarily talk about all the news like we did in this episode. We want to try and do like ratings, rankings, stuff like that. Mostly on weeks where there's nothing else to really talk about, which right now is going to be few and far between because there's literally racing 4 days a week on some weeks.
Actually, it's only happening one more week after. Next week, and then we don't see it again until Holmes. We won't see another midweek race till Martinsville Wednesday, mid-June. That's the next time we see you for a while.
Okay, Chenry. How you holding up over there?
What'd you do?
I left.
Because I proved you wrong yet again.
Okay. Here's my point on that, is for at least the next week, there's a lot of racing going on, okay? Is that a problem for my
the nature
statement?
Yes.
But, I mean, there's going to be a lot to talk about, so we'll talk about it, and, yeah, but I think next week we'll just see how Charlotte goes and stuff like that. If there's really nothing to talk about and we don't, for some reason, feel like doing one of those videos, we might just skip a week, but I doubt we'll do that much. But also, I'll let you guys know about any future plans. If we plan on live streaming the podcast on a certain platform or something, or put it on Spotify, obviously I'll let you know. But what I really would like is having your guys' input, because right now it's just me and Chenry talking, which is fun.
We might have some Xbox guests from NHL, maybe.
Yeah, we'll have guests. We'll probably have some guests at some point, but yeah, but I'd like to have people watching and putting their input in and like having questions that you want us to answer. It's a lot more fun. It gives more talking points and stuff like that. So yeah, but that's all I got. Obviously I'll shout out my YouTube channel. The subscribe button's right down below. And Chenry, you got anything to shout out? All right,
no.
there he is. I think I'm a little bit late on it, so that might be why. But yeah, that's really all I got. And be sure to let me know down in the comments if you have any questions or talking points. You're probably not here at this point, but I'm going to say it anyways. any questions or talking points you want us to bring up in the next podcast, let us know. Comment it down below, and I'll make sure to put it in the next video. But I won't waste any more of your time. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.
If you made this long, you're a miracle.
If you made it this long, I love you. I love you forever. Please tell me you made it this long, and I will subscribe to your YouTube channel. I will subscribe to your religion. You're awesome. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.